Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends, the Uncanny X-Men Phoenix Saga Dark Phoenix retro carded figure, which is kind of a reissue of a figure we got not that long ago in a 2-pack with Cyclops. That figure in the 2-pack was an incredible release. The whole 2-pack was one of the best things Hasbro's ever put out. This figure, though being updated and having a bunch of new stuff going on, pales in comparison. But if you don't have that one, you might want this one, so I'm going to review it anyway, and I'm going to give you all the information you need to know to make your buying decision. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Before we get into the figure itself, I do want to mention the other ones didn't have this type of, like the Phoenix Saga part, obviously, but they didn't have anything like that. So this makes me somewhat hopeful that we'll get more Phoenix Saga figures. That would be very cool. The downside is this figure blows chunks, and if they're all like that, that's going to suck. Okay, so there's the box. Let's look at the figure. I had to get that out of the way. Let me adjust the camera. All right, here we go. New Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, everyone's favorite Phoenix, maybe. I don't know. Let's do a quick height comparison with Darwin. Oh, hey, Darwin, why? He's always trying to get away with stuff. So he stands as tall as her hair poof, which makes him taller than her. She's going to be about 0.9 Darwins. That's going to make her roughly, we'll say 15.5 centimeters, not counting the hair. That's for scaling purposes. That's going to be just over 6 inches, right around that, though. So yeah, it's reasonably sized, and it does feature like a lot of new parts. I'm pretty sure all of the torso is old, but we do have the pinless arms and pinless legs, double jointed elbows. Hasbro's got everybody psyched about the pinless joints. I don't personally get it. Like, yes, it's nice, but if you have to get a figure that looks like this compared to the original, which, by the way, I could not find for the life of me, so I'll have that review up there. And I'll post an image so you can see briefly if you don't want to watch the whole review, but you should. The figures all look like crap as a result of having this pinless tech. Like, it's not exactly tech, by the way. It's nothing new. It's insert molding. I don't get it. Like, yeah, it costs more to do, but it makes the figures crap. But they don't have pins showing, so I don't get it personally. You guys can let me know. Question of the day. Would you rather have better paint jobs and better looking figures, but the pins show? Or would you rather have no pins, but figures that look like this? That's the question. For me, it's hands down. I'll take pins all day long. It's an action figure. It's not a human. You can see the joints anyway. Who cares if the pins are showing? Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the aesthetic. Let's look at the chest first, not because of the boobages, but because of the paint job around the Phoenix. The tampography normally wouldn't have like a red outline. This looks like a water slide decal that they did on red paper so that they could transfer it without it being that difficult. You can see a red outline going all the way around the Phoenix logo. Hopefully it's showing up on camera. The entire thing is outlined in red that doesn't match the body. It's especially noticeable up here at the top of the chest by the collarbone. Utter garbage. Trash paint job. It looks like a dollar store figure if they made that poorly. This is atrocious. It's horrible. It's ridiculous. There's no shading anywhere on the figure, by the way. None at all, which the other one was covered in. This has none. The paint job right here on her belt is acceptable. That's fine. The paint job on the arms to get the red on the bicep, it doesn't match the other red at all, and it's shiny. On camera, this looks shiny. In real life, this is fairly matte, and this is not quite semi-gloss, but it's way above satin. It doesn't look good. The hair, I'll take. It's a different style of shading for the hair than the previous release. This one's a wash. I like it. It's fine. The paint job definitely features the modern paint style, which is fine. The other one had that very cartoonish look, so that's okay. But aesthetically speaking, like, I'll take the new legs. They're decent legs, and double jointed elbows is great, but we also now always have, so this is the trade-off. Everybody wants the pinless tech because you get the hard plastic joints. You don't need to do that. You can use hard plastic with pins, by the way. That's fine. Lots of companies have done that. Hasbro's done it in the past, I believe. Maybe not Hasbro, maybe it was Toy Biz. Somebody's done it in the past, I don't remember. I know Mattel did. Anyway, you almost always get mismatched colors now. Because this is hard plastic, it's probably, I don't know, is it palm? It might be palm. Whatever, doesn't matter what it is. It's a hard plastic, this is PVC. They're never going to match perfectly. So you can see the knees, you can see the elbows. And since they're not painting them, you can just see them. And it doesn't look good. So would you rather have mismatched joints, which are slightly firmer, or would you rather have PVC joints, which is what Hasbro's always done, so that they match better, and they be slightly gummy? To me, I would just say use a harder PVC so they're not gummy and everything matches, and you can paint it if you want to. I don't care about pins really at all, so I would say get a harder PVC and then scrap this whole thing that they're doing now, because these figures don't look good. This figure looks terrible. Everything but the head looks like a $5 figure, and this thing's a $26 figure. Years after the initial release, and it's worse. It's a downgrade for sure. Aesthetic rating, I'm going to give it 2 out of 10. The head looks decent. I'll take the head. The rest is hot garbage. Alright, as far as accessories go, you do get the 2 fist hands, you get the 2 open hands, nothing special there, and you do get the phoenix that goes on her arm, which is nicely done. That's fine. The other release came with 2 alternate heads. I think it was the same phoenix in the same hands. So there's that. 5 out of 10. It's passable, but not exactly impressive considering we already got this figure. Alright, articulation. Good God. The only reason I didn't mention that in the aesthetic is the head sits okay height-wise if you don't look at the joint. And if you frame it just right, like if you angle it with the photo, it's going to be fine. But holy crap. There's never been a larger lollipop than this. Willy Wonka would be impressed by this. This is nuts. It just, like, it might as well not even be connected to the body, frankly. That's just ridiculous. So as a result, of course, you do get your swivel, not counting where the hair gets in the way. It doesn't really lean forward or back too much because of the hair. But you get that joint, which just allows you to fully disconnect. This is like one of those Halloween costumes or magician costumes where you can make it look like your head's disconnected from your body because of the frame of the costume. That's what that is. It's... What the hell? How does this keep happening? Shoulders, full-on ball hinges so they go out to the side. Full rotation. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow. No problem at all. That's good. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. That's all pretty much standard. Diaphragm joint. It's one of the good ones. It goes forward and back equally. They didn't continue the paint though, because, you know, why would you? Why would you bother? Oh my gosh. It is a good diaphragm joint though. Floaty belt is floaty. Hips go out to the side. Not as far as they could, because they could easily go farther without changing anything but the way that joint is connected. But you get about 45, a little bit better than 45. Going forward, they do go forward fairly high, but they do kick out to the side just a touch. They do go back a little bit, that's fine. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee is good. I'll take that. Paint line could be a little bit cleaner. By the way, this paint down here is fine. This paint up here sucks. So that's interesting. Ankles go all the way back, all the way forward, and we have an ankle rocker. That is fine. So articulation, it's not the best. Obviously the lollipop's no good, but obviously, again, you can hide it, so it's okay. I'll give the articulation I'll give it an 8, I guess. Everything works pretty well for the most part, so that's fine. But really, it just comes down to looks, because if the figure looks like butts, it doesn't matter how well it can pose, because it's just embarrassingly ugly. The only way you're not going to see that red outline on the chest is if you're nowhere near the action figure. And by the way, action figures are meant to be posed, which means they have to be within arm's length. Arm's reach, whatever you want to say. And so that's a problem. You could pose it and leave it on a shelf and ignore it, I guess, but that kind of defeats the purpose. So, before I give a rating, I'm going to say, get the other release. The single jointed elbows and pins showing are far more than made up for by the paint job and the accessories. This thing is not worth owning. That chest logo is enough to not buy it. The arms not being painted properly, also enough. No shading. The mismatched knees and elbows. It's just, there's nothing good about this. The articulation's fine. And I guess the head it's good enough, because it's still kind of sloppily done. So I'm going to give this an overall rating of 3 out of 10, especially considering the previous release years prior was far better. It's not even close. It's bad. You should definitely check out that review if you have a few minutes, because that was a really strong release. So there it is, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos almost every single day. It's every day but Wednesday, and thousands of videos already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.